A round of applause for Pastor Brown Heath, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, President Fred and everyone else here. It's my honour to be here and part of this function tonight. I've certainly over the last 4 years become a friend of Nigeria. I've been very fortunate through my friendship with Pastor Shay Oluwashala to be able to travel to Nigeria. I spent April or 10 days in April last year in Nigeria. I was hosted by Pastor Tundi Bakari. So I met with him and spent several days with him in his home there. He is a personal mentor of mine. I first met him back in 2001, and he has been a very strong influence on my life. So that was an amazing adventure to go to Nigeria last year. I was very impressed with the way everyone drives over there. I've tried to develop similar skills here. Nigeria is an amazing nation, the giant of Africa, one of the richest nations in the world in oil. But the greatest wealth of the nation of Nigeria is the people. And I love the people. And I'm so glad that you are in Australia. I really am. I met Pastor Shay, as I said, 4 years ago, and we've become very close friends. I believe one of the themes that Matthew spoke to me, I said, what would you like me to touch on tonight? And he spoke about unity. And I want to say this, that my friendship with Pastor Shay proves that although we are a world apart geographically, we can have a strong unity in our relationships. One of the things that I've learned from Pastor Bakari is about the idea of nation building. And I really believe that you are here, you're an important resource to Australia, because together we can build this great nation. And we seem to be in the nations at a critical stage where the foundations of the nations are being eroded. And if we want to build strong future, strong nations, then what we need to know is we need to know what the foundations of the nations are. And, you know, when we lose sight of the foundations, the scripture says that we need to return to the temple. Because in the temple, in the house of God, we rediscover what the foundations of the nation are. And firstly, the foundations of a great nation, great cities, great communities are the families. And this is one of the things I love about Nigeria, is that you have not lost sight of family and you have not lost sight of community. And you must do what you can to reinforce and to strengthen family and to strengthen community, both here and in Nigeria. When I went to Nigeria last year, I was inspired by Pastor Bakari, because as a pastor, I didn't know that I could really be involved in the political field. And I want to say this to you, I'm not a politician at all. But I aspire to be a leader that can influence people and can help people see further than the next election. My friend Pastor Shay says I'm not a politician, he calls me a statesman. Well, I would aspire to be a statesman. So I stood for Family First at the last election. It was my first time, and I will continue to stand for Family First in future elections. One of the reasons I chose Family First is that I believe that the base foundation of the nation and our future is family. The second foundation is faith. And I realise tonight that we are from different faiths. But we need to be able to pray to our God and ask Him to give us the keys to the future. And, you know, because the answer comes from there. I want you to know that the answer does not come from government. The answer comes from above. And we have seen, you know, our politicians, career politicians, I believe, make a bit of a mess of things. And that is why I've personally got involved and decided, rather than being a critic on the sidelines, I want to become part of the answer. So family is important. Faith is important, and freedom is important. We are so fortunate that Australia is a free country. And, you know, we have freedom of speech, we have freedom of worship, and we can worship God the way that we believe is right. And these freedoms need to be preserved, and we can all contribute to this process. I just once again want to thank you for the opportunity of being here tonight and being honoured. I really respect that, and didn't personally expect that, but I thank you. You will be in my prayers as we move forward. I will be really interested to see what happens in Nigeria in the future, because my moments there during the last election, I could see that God has got a plan for Nigeria, and He's raising up great men and great women in that nation who are nation builders. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you and congratulate you on gathering here tonight, and I really believe that great things are going to come out of the Nigerian community in the future. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pastor, for that word of exhortation and for your love for our nation.